There's no doubt now that when we are able to target the appropriate mutated gene, and when I say mutated, either insertions, deletions in EGFR, gene fusions in ALK and ROS and RET, I think those are going to be very promising avenues. The downside of that type of therapy is that they're relatively small numbers of patients. There's a lot of effort that goes into diagnosing that molecular subset. And so, and there may be other patients, who don't have one of those drivers or have, for example, a KRAS mutation and won't necessarily benefit from one of those oncogene-targeted therapies. So those are very promising, but they may not be beneficial for the entire group of lung cancer patients. I think there are finally some promising therapies coming for KRAS mutations. The MEK inhibitor seemed to have very promising clinical activity. Unfortunately, there was also a lot of toxicity associated with that. And so I think learning how to deal with that toxicity, but hopefully this will be a useful strategy in the future. And then in terms of, perhaps broader targeted therapy, some of the immune-based therapies that are coming along, such as PD-1 or PD-L1 inhibitors, perhaps may have much broader activity in lung cancer patients regardless of the oncogene. I know that our melanoma colleagues have been able to deal adequately with the toxicity, and there's no doubt that these drugs are going to have a significant risk of colitis and other side effects. But I think that we can learn from our colleagues who've done this before us in terms of managing some of these side effects. So I hope that we'll be able to use them and use them safely.